who's outperformed their expectations and who has massively underperformed. Max, I'll start with you. Which one of these do you want to dive in on first?
There's a couple that just hit their sixth win over the weekend. I thought Arizona has done an awesome job. They're on an incredible run here. They're one of the hottest teams in the country right now. They just jumped into the top 25. They've won 3 straight games against top 25 opponents, which is a pretty crazy stretch for them. They're playing much better defense. Certainly, Noah Fafita stepping in and being a difference maker at quarterback has been really fun to watch. And for year 3, Jed Fish and his staff have just really done a nice job. So yeah, over under there on them was 5. They just hit 6. You got to feel really good about the momentum of that program. Arizona, and then also West Virginia, we mentioned earlier, like to get their 6th win. I think there are few coaches that were like more acutely aware of how on the hot seat they were going into this year than Neil Brown. And I wrote about it a few weeks ago, but just to their credit, like they did a great job of just blocking all that out and just getting better, just flat out getting better. And part of that is having good quarterback play, like you mentioned before with Garrett Green. Part of that is just people just set the bar way too low for this team. They had
I
enough
love
coming back
Garrett
to be
Green,
better.
by the way. I love
Yes,
Garrett Green. I got to watch him in person for the first time a few weeks back, and he
that
is a
dude is
ton
a
of fun to
Big 12
watch.
quarterback.
Yeah,
He is a
100%. And he just
player.
doesn't. He does not care. He just throws the body around and runs wherever and throws the ball wherever. And he's got a little juice to him that I really really like. So he's fun to watch. It's a good team they've got over there.
I got to shout those two out. Who else jumps out to you in terms of big overachievers?
Hat I'm wearing right here. This is hat I got
Oh,
on Texas State.
oh,
The Bobcats got bowl eligible this week. I'm gonna start in the G5
okay.
as a shout out to GJ Kinney and the Texas State Bobcats, who are bowl eligible for the first time since 2014. They beat Georgia Southern by a few scores. They're 6-3 right now, and have done a really good job. This is a program that hasn't won more than 4 games in the last 8 years, and they are going bowling. I saw guys jumping in the river after this game,
That
even
was awesome. Yeah.
including the coaching staff and the school president. So they have been a big overachiever. It sounds. I think Louisville is definitely been in that group. I think. I certainly didn't peg them to be sitting here right now this late in the season at 8-1 and in the top 15 in the rankings.
They really are kind of the TCU of this season, aren't they?
I think they
Kind of
are.
the
Yeah,
first year
we've been.
staff walking into a situation, kind of adding a little bit in the portal just to kind of fill out the needs a little bit, but just taking what you got and putting a really nice run together.
Yeah. And one of them, Northwestern, obviously they had the situation with Pat Fitzgerald at the start of the year and losing him after the hazing allegations. And it's they had the over-under win total this year of 3, and they've already surpassed that. They're sitting here at 4-5, and the Cats have definitely overachieved this year. So
Did you watch a lot of Iowa and Northwestern on Saturday, Sam?
no. I've
No?
got better ways to spend my time, buddy. I really do.
You weren't
What did
logging
they
into Peacock to check that one out?
how did the over under situation end up on that one? Because it wasn't it 30? Wasn't the total 30?
The game total was 17. So if you bet the under,
So they went under. They went
that
under.
was they by a little bit, bud. Yeah, they went over by a little bit. Yeah, that would have been a good. You're not going to get a good number on it, but that would have been a good bet the farm bet for sure.
Yeah. Missouri
Guess what?
also, I'll throw
Iowa
in there.
did not throw the ball very well and did not do much on offense, but they were in position to win on special teams at the end.
So the offensive coordinator change didn't really do that much then. At least not yet.
Since making the offensive coordinator change, their season scoring average has gone down. That is true.
Oh Lord. Well, that's unfortunate. So they have 80. Iowa has 81 points right now, but Mizzou is another overachiever. I'll shout out. We talked about them earlier too, but 6 win total, over under 6 wins, and like you said, they went up against Georgia and were impressive. 7-2 on the year so far. So they very much, Eli Drinkwitz has done a great job, really stocking the talent there.
Yeah.
So they've done a good job. Let's talk underachievers, and I think you know where I want to start, Max.
You want to just really, really get after Sam Pittman in Arkansas? Is that what you're thinking?
No, no. You know what? Speaking of Sam Pittman in Arkansas, Kenny Guyton was the offensive coordinator this week after Dan Enos got let go, former Ohio State quarterback, and they were able to pull out a win. So shout out to
That was
Kenny
a
Guyton and
positive
the
change in
Razorbacks.
OC. Yes,
That
it
that
was.
that one worked out well. But yeah, Texas A&M obviously I think is the biggest underachiever of the group here. When you look at them, team talent composite fourth in the country, and they are certainly not playing that way. They're sitting here at 5-4 after losing to Ole Miss, and I'm sure Lane Kiffin really enjoyed that victory. But it feels like it's crunch time in College Station right now. With a few weeks left in the season. Over under total for Texas A&M in the preseason was 8 wins. They would have to win out just to meet that. So,
do you see them beating LSU right now?
Nope. I will say this: LSU's defense is not very good, but
I can add. I can confirm it's not good. Yeah.
A&M's offense hasn't been great either. They bounced back after falling behind by 2 touchdowns against Ole Miss. But do I have faith that they're gonna take advantage of a weekend LSU defense? Not necessarily. I mean, that offensive line has been on the struggle bus for Texas A&M for 3 years now. Going back in 3 years, I went back and looked it up. They have ranked in the hundreds each of the last 3 seasons in pressure rate that they've allowed. And they've obviously had quarterback injuries each of those years. So that's a problem. So A&M's
Sam,
a massive underachiever.
over that 3-year stretch too, I've been doing our the athletics freshman All-America team. They always have guys up for freshman All-America on the O-line, and at some point you should stop starting freshmen on the offensive line. At some point that should not be going on, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
That they've done. If you've got 2 freshmen starting frequently, that's not a good formula. That's not a good recipe.
Not ideal.
Do you think it is Jimbo coaching for his job against LSU? If I asked you today,
possibly, I think it very much is. That's very much a possibility. I think how these next 3 weeks play out, really 2 weeks because they've got Abilene Christian in the middle, which they'll win that. But these next 2 SEC games that they have on their schedule are really going to be huge. They've got Mississippi State this weekend in College Station, and then they finish at LSU. And I can tell you the fan base is out. The fan base is already done. The fans have moved on, I think, or they are ready for a change. But again, it's a $77 million question that we're discussing here, and it's not as cut and dried as, oh, you want to get rid of him, you can get rid of him. It's a lot of money, and I do think, I do think there's a scenario where he's back next year. So I think how they fare in these next 2 SEC games, final 2 SEC games of regular season, is going to tell the tale.
Do you think that if Texas A&M lost to Abilene Christian, that would be detrimental to his future in College Station?
I think so.
You think so? Okay, all right. Just making sure. Didn't want to jump right past that. No, I don't see I don't see that happening. But no, it's gonna be a real tense month around there. As we all kind of imagine once you kind of look at the way this schedule is going to shake out. But hey, you can't. You're right. I mean, there's definitely this is a flawed. Despite what David Ubben told the world, this is not a national championship caliber LSU team. They've got some flaws, and they got a chance to. A&M can certainly mess around and win that game.
Yeah. If they end up 8-4, I feel like that's the worst kind of purgatory for Texas A&M fans.
Yeah, 100%.